Hi friends, it's Marika Lake here. Welcome back to my channel. I live on the west coast of Australia with my hubby Greg and our 5 children. We have William who's in grade 10, Emily is in grade 6, Cruz is in grade 4, Jackson is in grade 2, and our little baby Jay has recently turned 1 year old. And here in the lake house we have been homeschooling for 6 years now. In today's video, I am going to give you a look inside the Bible curriculum that we have been using this year. It is called Eyes That See and Ears That Hear. It is a parent's guide to teaching their children how to hear the voice of God. We have been using this year and we really enjoy it. And some of my viewers have asked for me to do a flip through of this curriculum for you so that you can have a look inside for yourself. Now, I have just purchased a PDF copy of this book and I have printed it out myself at home and I have bound it. But you can purchase this as a proper book, and I did have it at one stage as a proper book, but I did lend it out to somebody and now I'm not sure who it is I lent out. So I went back and repurchased it, and this time I got the PDF version. When I bought this book originally, I was in America and I brought it home with me from America. So I don't know what the shipping is like to get the proper book sent out here if you are in Australia, but the fact that they have a PDF version to print out is excellent. So it makes it available to us who are overseas. So I will pop a link in the description box down below to where I was able to purchase the PDF copy from, so that you will be able to purchase your own copy. Now the printer, it is just in black and white, but the printer that I use at home is an Epson EcoTank. Everyone always asks me about my printer. So we have an Epson EcoTank, which is really great, cost effective. It has refillable ink, so that works perfectly. And then I have my own binding machine as well at home that I just grabbed off of Amazon, and I just bind my things at home. All right, enough of my chatting. I'm going to turn this camera around and give you a look inside this curriculum. Okay, so let's take a look inside Eyes That See and Ears That Hear by Jennifer Toledo. All right, here is the contents page. You can see there's an overview, how to use the manual, and then it goes into the lessons. So there's the ABCs of hearing God for friendship, hearing God for direction, hearing God for inner healing, hearing God for others, the gift of seeing, and help me section, which is troubleshooting for parents. All right, so how to use this manual. Now, this manual is designed for you to read aloud and work through with your children, but the manual is actually great for anyone who wants to learn about hearing the voice of the Lord, how to hear the voice of the Lord, the different ways that he speaks, and some activations to help you in that process. And so it really is for any age. I use this with my children, and it is designed for children because it's just put in such simple, beautiful language, and it's easy to understand. And so basically it's designed for you to read aloud the information to your children, and then there will be activities, activations, and even some homework written into each chapter. Now, with the homework, I don't do it as homework, we just include it in the next lesson. So that's why it's taking us kind of a long time to work through this curriculum, because I've added in the homework to the lessons. So how I use this book is we sit down for Bible study and I read aloud from the Bible to my children. At the moment, we are reading through the Psalms. So we take some time to read through the Psalms and perhaps chat about them. We do worship together. My children have some favorite worship songs that they love to worship to. So we'll throw them up on the TV, or we'll just play them without a visual, and we'll listen to them, or we'll sing along, or we'll soak, depending on how we feel. And then after that, we use this manual. I will read aloud to the children, and then we will do an activity that goes along with what we've been learning. So that's how we use this book. But there is a section here about how it is designed, how to use. The first chapter is the ABCs of hearing God, and basically she goes through biblically that God is a God who loves to speak to his children, and there's Bible verses in there as well, which is awesome. And it also talks about what his voice sounds like. So it's talking talking about, how to discern whether it's the voice of the Lord, because this is how we know what God's voice sounds like, because this is the kind of way that he talks. And there's, as you can see, it's here, there's Bible verses. And then it goes through how does he speak. So the different ways that he speaks, like in an audible voice, an inaudible voice, whisper, spontaneous thought, feelings and impressions, knowing, seeing, and it'll just go through and explain all the different ways. And it also talks about how so God speaks in so many different ways, and also how to tune in and listen to those ways, and also that you might not hear him in all of those ways, you might just hear him in a few different ways, and you may be different from the person next to you, but we're all able to hear the voice of the Lord. And as you're reading aloud, you will come to sections here where there is an application where you can stop and have a little activity or some prayer for you to do as you are going along through the curriculum, which is great. Okay. Talking about staying safe in hearing the voice of the Lord. It is really excellent. This is really, really great. And yeah, just again, some activations, as you can see here, as you're going along, some activities. Now, I always do the activities with my children, and we get out the, big pieces of paper and texters and write down answers and things like that. And we do the prayers with them. It's really great. Okay, so then we go into let's learn. Now we're going to learn about hearing God for friendship. And again, you read aloud with the children, and then it goes into the activations or some activities to do. There is sections in here where it says Parents Corner, and this is designed for you not to read aloud. This is just extra information for you as the parent teaching the kids. So for example, it says, you are your child's greatest cheerleader and encourager. As they step into new ground and take risks, they're going to be watching your reaction. So it's then just giving you some information as the teacher. All right, let's look at some of the activities that they've got here. So here it says, this is the practice section, and it says, now we're going to practice some friendship questions with God. Let's start by praying. And then it walks you through a prayer that you can pray, and then it's going to get you to ask the Lord some questions. And then what we would do, we would pray this aloud together, and then we would ask questions. So the first question is, God, what is one thing you really love about me? So then I get my children to stop, they close their eyes, and they practice listening for his voice, and then we go around and share what is it that the children heard. And so they might write that down they might have a Bible journal that they write that down. We might just talk about it, but it is great to write these things down. So we do actually write these things down in our workbooks. And then we ask the next question, really, why that? And so we're just getting the children to practice hearing and then sharing what they've heard, and then I can encourage them along the way. And then I find if they struggle, if they come away and say, I didn't hear anything, then it's like, okay, let's try again. And if they say, I'm still not hearing anything, then what I usually do is okay, well, we're going to ask the question of the Lord for you, and, we'll see if he tells us. And so then we will do that, and often I or one of my other kids will get something for that child, and they're like, oh, this is what the Lord thinks about you, and they'll kind of prophesy over them, and it just builds their faith and encourages them, but just helps them to keep practicing. And so we do all of those activities together, and it's just giving you the questions, because remember, this is teaching your children, it's getting them to practice hearing the voice of the Lord, and so the questions are really great. So we will work through that. Now, that would kind of be all one session for me. And then I might save this bit for the next lesson. So this is kind of like the homework section, where I don't do it as homework. We will just do it as another activity. So then the following week we'll come back and we'll do a whole kind of process again, where we read aloud from the Bible, we have worship time, and then we get this book out and work our way through it. So it has activation here. Next, open up your journal or notebook and turn to a clean page. On the top of your page, write, Dear God. Take about 10 to 15 minutes and write God a letter. Tell him everything you want to say. Pour your heart out, and then it goes on. Oh, sorry, couldn't even see it. I was just reading from this box here. And then it goes on saying what you need to do in your journal. And so that's another, I could do that activity at the end of this one or create a whole new lesson. And so that's great to get your children on, starting to journaling their thoughts, journaling what they're hearing from the Lord. And then it has a whole nother section here, which would be considered homework. So this one says, draw a picture of a giant heart. Take a few minutes and pray and ask God to show you what he sees when he looks in your heart. Fill in your heart with words or pictures as he shows you what he sees. Ask more questions about each thing he shows you. So that's one activity. This is another one. Ask God to show you what kinds of things he likes. Make a list of all the things he shows you. Next, ask God to show you what kind of things he doesn't like. Make another list of all of these things he shows you. So there's lots of different, these are the homework that you can get your children to do or your own, or do them together as a little group. But yeah, there's lots and lots of hands-on activities, activations to go along with the reading aloud from this curriculum. I won't go through every activity. I just wanted to show you how the book is actually set out. So then it goes on to hearing God for direction. Again, it just has read aloud, let's learn, read aloud. We have Bible verses always included throughout, as you can see here. And then when it says eyes and ears, this is the activation part. And so it'll walk you through the activities that go along with that section. And then this is the homework section. So again, there's prayers in there, asking God questions, and then you'll be either speaking out the answers or writing them down. So this one is, God, what are some of the good plans that you have for my life? So that's the question that the children ask of the Lord. Then they can share or they can write that down. Then it says, God, show me how much you know. Can I trust you? And again, just going on with the questions, and you can write answers, you can talk about it, you can keep their answers in their journal, and then it goes on to homework. And so this one is, how can I be more of a blessing? And just writing those down. How can I be more of a blessing, helping encouragement to my siblings, brothers and sisters? What can I do today to bless my family? Next time I'm playing with my friends, is there something you would like me to do or say to them? That's great, starting to hear, obviously, for other people. Is there anything you want me to stop doing with my friends? How can I be a better friend? So they are all great questions that you can work through with their children. And so you're encouraging them to work on it in the small group time that you have, but then you want them to think about, hey, when you're with your friends next, or when you're playing with your brothers and sisters, ask the Lord what it is he wants to say to them, or ask the Lord what it is he wants you to do that is kind and will bless them. So encouraging them to take what they're learning here, then out into their life and out into their real world. And the rest of the book is set out exactly the same, going into hearing God for inner healing, reading aloud, Bible verses, and then the activities and homework. And that is how this wonderful book is set out. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope that you found that helpful. If you have any questions at all, just leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. Don't forget to check that description box. I will put links there to where you can find this amazing curriculum from. You can find my Instagram account as well if you'd like to follow me over there. And I'll pop some other videos that you might be interested in watching from my channel as well. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.